Hello and welcome to the Staff of Karnath on the Commodore 64. And as you can see, this is quite an early game, 1984, and released by Ultimate Play the Game. Probably more famous for their output on the ZX Spectrum, but and most of the C64 stuff wasn't quite as warmly received, I think. But let's take a look. So here we are. You can see the sprites are a little blocky. Well, your sprite is anyway. You play this little chap in the blue and yellow here. And the aim of the game is to collect pieces of a puzzle, I guess. I can't remember. You can see at the right hand screen there's a sort of yellow, black. Well, it's black with a yellow outline. A little sort of looks like a loaf of bread or something. But you've got to collect. I can't remember how many pieces it is, maybe 20, something like that. You have to collect all those pieces anyway and deposit them in an obelisk that's in the dungeon. And once you do that, you can complete the game. Now, because you're a wizard, you can fire spells. If you press space, it changes the type of spell that you're currently using. Different spells have different effects against the various opponents, so you've got to sort of learn which ones to use. And obviously, this is the first screen of the game, so obviously the default spell is fourth rune, which happens to work against these chaps. So it just resets them though, so you have to. So we've picked up a piece of pentacle. You can only carry one at a time, so it's time to go down to the dungeon. Bit of a blocky troll there. So you see the graphics. The graphics are I quite like the background graphics. They're quite well done and quite atmospheric. The actual sprites are a mixture of sort of monochromatic and colour sprites, so with the odds bit of expanded sprites thrown in, so they're a bit of a mishmash. Right, this is a matter of timing this level. Every time you take a hit, your health goes down. It's represented by the energy at the bottom right of the status panel. It says 85%. No, it says 83 now. And of course, every time you fire a spell, it goes down by 1% as well, so you've effectively got limited ammo as well. Now, every time you deposit a piece of pentacle, your health gets topped up again. But of course it means navigating this screen constantly, so you're pretty adept at navigating this screen. Obviously I'm not doing very well because I haven't played this game in a long time. So I think it's the Barricata spell, I think. There we go. So now 100% health. Just got to get out of the dungeon. Now the gameplay here is nothing revolutionary, but it's quite a decent enough arcade adventure for its time anyway. I used to quite enjoy playing this back in the day. This is part of this Sir Arthur Pendragon, I think, yeah. That's part of that series of games. Also featured Entombed, and I can't remember the name of the other game now. And the actual maze is quite easy to map in this. Well, let's try and get this one in. Need to find the right spell to. It's a matter of trial and error, really. But obviously, if you play this game seriously, you'd be writing this down, which spell affects it. I'm pretty sure it's this one. Yes. Just not sure. There we go. In terms of mapping, this game it's quite logical. It works well if you start to map it yourself. The sequel Entombed was, you could argue, it was a better game, but the actual layout was a bit tougher to map. Certainly harder to remember. Right, time to get out of this room again with as much energy as I can. Lost 6% already. So it can get a little frustrating. Down to 18, 80. Doing terrible here. So this is probably the weakest part of the game, to be honest, is this bloody room that you got to keep negotiating. It does get a bit annoying after a while. But to be fair, I always like the atmosphere in this game. It's just quite well done. There's no music. There's music when the game's loading, but well, halfway through the game loads. But there's no actual music in the game, which maybe was a bit of a missed opportunity. But the sound effects are quite decent enough. Okay, well, let's explore a bit more of the game. Whoops. Can't remember. I think that speeds up time. I think there's a time limit as well. It looks like there's a time limit at the bottom of the screen. Oops. Yeah, that didn't look good. Oh. Well, I think I ran out of energy there. I think it's supposed to use a spell to disable those guards, but right, well, that's Staff of Karnath for you. Quite a decent enough arcade adventure for its time. Obviously, it's a bit dated, in terms of its presentation. And the gameplay itself, I think it still plays reasonably well. It's quite a good mapping game. Oh, it's just you got to learn what the various spells do against each type of opponent. So watch there. The sprites are unfortunately a bit blocky, but right. What I'm going to rate it? Well, I'll give it. I'll give it. I'll give it 7 out of 10. I think it was a good enough score. I think it's certainly by no means a bad game. Quite above average, really, and not quite top drawer, but it's fairly decent. So yeah, I think 7 out of 10's fairly decent score, fairly accurate score, I think. Okay, that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.